In 2009, I took over the cath lab at one of the local hospitals here in San Antonio. I'm a respiratory therapist by trade, and I didn't know a whole lot about running a cath lab. I knew I could run it operationally, and I wasn't too much interested in what was happening inside the cath lab, but I was more interested in the process of the cath lab. So one of the first things I did is I did a process flow map on the cath lab, and I looked at at the time, our door to balloon times were about 88 minutes, so just right at the edge of what the national threshold should be. And we were only doing less than 90 about 85% of the time. So I began to look at that. I made some process changes, and what I noted, two things I noted. First, I noted that not much work was being done in the emergency room when we got a patient for STEMI. It was kind of, the patient sat at idle until the cath lab team and the physician arrived, and then the work began. So I wrote a protocol, what we called IMPACT, right? So really identify the patient, medicate the patient, put pacer pads on the patient, give us some IV accesses, clip the groin, and help transport that patient. So I got that piece done. And within our first year, we dropped those times down to 77 minutes, 100% of the time. The next year, 62 minutes, 100% of the time. The next year, 52 minutes, 100% of the time. But the one thing that I always noted on my process mapping was initial onset of symptoms to first medical contact. And it just upset me deeply that we have people sitting on their couches knowing that they have the signs and symptoms of a heart attack. They either don't recognize them or they don't respond to them. And that bothered me to a point where I had to research it, I had to study more, I had to look at that and decide how can I take what is already published and what I've learned and change the culture, at least in my hospital, when it comes to early heart attack care.